All right, we're doing it. This is just a kind of surprise live stream. It wasn't scheduled. Um, I don't know if anyone of you will see it and join in. It'd be great if you did. But regardless of that, everyone on Patreon, welcome. Thank you for tuning in and always supporting this project. So right now, I wanted to, for a long time, I really wanted to get outside and get take the production to another level, but also make it outside, right? And that's difficult to do. But I think I figured out a way to pull it all together. And so before we start, I want to talk about the Prashad palette because a lot of you are interested in it and don't know kind of how I use it. And first and foremost, this is not a demo of me using it in my hand, so it's kind of a little bit maybe not the best example. But a lot of people wonder how the easel adapter works. So that's, I wanted to get out here and just kind of start sketching a little bit and see if I could show you. So basically it's a quarter inch wing nut that I have with a bolt that I drilled a hole in this steel tripod easel. And I have it set up that way so that I can put my panel in here. And a lot of people also ask me, am I able to use this for larger paintings? So that's kind of the point of this. So I got a huge panel and as big as I could go, I guess, for this purpose. But you see there that basically it just kind of rests on the bolt, and that's my painting surface. This easel is not very heavy, and that allows me to take it out, and it can be used as kind of a small Prashad box, I guess. You can see here that here's the palette set up with the panel. So it functions for larger paintings too. If you can, I'll pan up here just so you can see how big the panel is. I would say it's larger than, it's probably 18 by 24 approximately. So that's, I think that's pretty big. Probably go bigger if I move this down. And if I wanted to, I could go bigger, I guess. But we're here and I took a picture of our scene. So this is what I'm looking at currently live here from this angle. And I'm gonna basically just do a little bit of sketching. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. This is mainly for Patreon recording, but feel free to let me know what you think. All right, let's do it. All right. So I'm going to continue to set up my colors. I have, so far I've put the ultramarine blue out, put some quinacridone red or rose, which is a beautiful color. Hopefully that wind isn't too bad, but man, it feels good. Feels so good to be outside. All right, let's kill yellow pale. Do some blue, King's blue light. Do that here. I want to have a lot of brown because I'm going to do pretty heavy brown underpainting, because what the majority of what I'm looking at is, again, if you look at the image just of the scene that I just took, where's my, so a majority of it is the kind of, there's going to be a lot of shadow. And so I squeezed out a lot of brown just so that I would have that to be able to wash in. So I've put out the ultramarine blue, the quinacridone rose, the cad yellow pale. I probably could start with that actually, because that's a limited kind of landscape palette. That I'll do that. That sounds like a plan. So I have the brown, and I have so here's what we're looking at. So what I want to do is basically block in a lot of the pattern of light. I don't know how the image is. I'm outside, so it's a bit hard to kind of calculate exactly some of the exposure stuff. But I won't worry about it too much. This is kind of for fun, just to be able to enjoy a beautiful night, do a live stream. All right, we'll jump into it. Oh, also check this out. This is amazing. This is the Michael Klein series from Rosemary, which that's been a thing for a long time. But this is a long handle brush, which is new. So that's pretty amazing. All right. So check it out. Here's the scene right in front of me. And I'll get started. So I'm just going to dip into a bunch of brown, maybe a little bit of blue, and some of the quinacridone. And basically the composition I'm thinking is this light pattern that comes across here. The barn is here. There's some of this stuff in front. Shadow pattern comes across this way. There's some rocks here. So then in back, there's light there. And so you have light here, and then you have light in the foreground, and you have this snippet of the light on the roof. And then you have a tree hanging in front. You have this shape coming down here. The side of the barn goes up that way. I came out here with the idea of, see, this is how art is. I came out here with the idea of painting that view, but it's just kind of flat because the sun is behind me, and it's a gorgeous vista view, but this is right to the left of me, and I just feel like it's more compelling. And so when I got it here, I switched ideas, and that's very typical. Very typical. All right, I'm gonna grab a paper towel here. Oh my gosh, I don't think I brought paper towels. All right, we're gonna wing it. I have a complete live streaming studio outdoors, and I don't have my paper towels. That's about par for the course. All right, so shadow shapes. It's gonna go from violet to blue-ish. Okay. Up on top, I'm gonna add a little bit of the white, and because the roof is a different color. Here's that light shape. See that? So that's all shadow. Then there's some, I have my Gamsol down below on the floor. Then there's some sky color up above. I can adjust this. A gorgeous night. It's so nice out. Okay. You don't understand. When you've been doing production in a production studio for years, to be able to do this outdoors, I don't want to get into the complexity of it, but this is not an easy thing to pull off. So anyway, all right, sky up here. And I'll fill in some sky up here. I think that's good. And I'm going to go into, I suppose I could set up, well, the cameras I don't want to fiddle with. So, okay, so we're doing a limited palette right now. So I have just blue, cat yellow pale, and the quinacridone rose. So I'm going to take my cat yellow pale and my ultramarine blue. I'm going to basically kind of start to also set up some of the light effect up above. So that's super dark blue. I don't want that. I'll grab some more Gamsol and I'm going to take the Cad Yellow Pale straight from my palette and go up here. So if you look at the setup, it's this. So you see those trees up to the side. So there's basically a couple areas of interest where the light is kind of coming across the picture. So here's one of them. There's going to be some green and I can add a little bit of this blue actually. And then that yellow and white, keep that kind of fresh. This is going to slam across here. This is going to come in the foreground and then I get some of this stuff through here. Now there's a bit of complexity up here that I have to address because I have the sky. And the foliage actually, as I went to kind of almost put it in, the foliage, the leaves and all whatnot, it goes over top of this sky, but in a slightly, I have a bug on my cap. I have to basically pull this down. That should be better. Okay. All right. Just looking for my paper towels again. I don't have them. So I'm gonna have to improvise. This is a challenge. This is good. See, this is why I do these things. Otherwise, it would get boring. So this line in back is going to be, so basically you have here this light pattern of the barn, and then the line of trees in back is a much lighter value than these ones being hit, and this is also in shadow, so I'll adjust that in a second, but these are the trees in back. This is the barn here. These are the trees in back. And this is the roof. So I like how that's set up. I know it looks like a bunch of craziness, but here, now if I'm going to add a bit more of the ultramarine blue. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay with a limited palette, but we'll see. All right, ultramarine blue, brown, and yellow. Okay, so this There's a bunch of shadow back here. So you'll see it come together. This tree goes up. Shadow again. So this is on top of the sky. Shadow back here, shadow here. This is all kind of some of the stuff coming forward. I want a bit more blue and violet. So the ultramarine blue back here. Squirt out a little bit more. For those of you tuning in live, this was a random session, so thanks for tuning in. This is going on my Patreon, so I didn't tell anybody it was live. Alright, so this shadow here is going to be, I'm taking blue and some yellow, and this is going to go here in front. Because this is the barn casting the shadow here. And so then this area of green back here. This is a big painting too. You know, it's, if I had a paper towel, I would just kind of, but it'll be fine. I'll fill in the spots kind of as I go. I'll take blue and brown. Should give us kind of one of our darkest notes. And there's this area here that's in shadow too. There's opening to the barn. Goes over here. Okay. And then this line comes across here. There's a darker. It doesn't hang over though, it stops right there. So that's. This can be, this is like, there's a bunch of old wood. For the barn. See there a little bit. So literally it's like, it's crazy how I have so much stuff around me and I don't have my paper towels. Okay, so I'm going to use my finger, but I'm not going to really be able to clean it on much. Just because I want to fill in some of this stuff with, I don't do this. This is not like a thing. This is not, and this is not me going crazy. Typically I'd use a paper towel. I'm going to add one color to the mix. So I have the ultramarine blue. I'm going to add burnt sienna. Here it is. Okay. So I started out with a limited palette, but because I don't have my paper towels, I'm going to have to be a little bit more direct. I won't be able to clean my brushes as much, so that kind of screws that idea. But so here I have the burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. Okay, let's see. There's some rocks here. This is the foliage back there in shadow, and there's a tree, so I'm going to paint some of the darks around it. Then eventually, then I gotta get the like it would be cad yellow pale. I could probably break out. I have turquoise. So if you're not familiar with like kind of how the palette works and expanding into new parts of the palette, basically my cad yellow pale and my ultramarine blue can only get me so far. If I want to get that light hitting those vibrant greens, I'm incorporating the turquoise and the cad yellow, and that gets me pretty vibrant. I mean, you can see there it's about as green as you're gonna want to get. Otherwise, it gets kind of disgusting looking. So this can kind of come through here. It's going to be up on top. These are in front of the ones behind it. And also this is supposed to be shadow, so now I can adjust that. I can take some of the... And the sun is going to fade pretty quick. Hopefully not completely, but... It's finally a little bit clearer. We were getting a lot of smoke from the fires supposedly up in Canada. So you can see, wow, did my cheese. For those of you who are just tuning in, the sun went behind a cloud and my exposures are totally screwed up. Sorry, I don't have a crew with me, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. Gosh. All right. You should be okay. All right, let's see. A few of you stayed in, hung in there. It's good. Okay, see the sun is coming back, so. You know, you just never know until you do it. Doing something live outdoors is not a common thing, so I hope you're enjoying it, because it's super difficult to get the exposures right. All right, so this kind of hill, there's another area where there's still shadow over here. And then I want to get the dark trunk that was here. I think that that's an important part of the composition. So that's going to come this way. Oh my gosh, the exposures are going to be so bad. Okay, so you guys are really not so dark. What's this one look like? Still so dark. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to adjust it on the fly. Just to try to make this work. It looks so weird. Yeah, a little bit crazy having a monitor out in the sun. All right, let's keep going. So the sun has kind of gone away. It's still there, but it's kind of hovering. It looks like it may creep back out, so I can't give up yet. I can continue to invent. The thing I'm more worried about, I'm not so worried about my painting. I'm worried about the production for you guys, because the you're not going to be able to see anything. That's crazy how much it shifted. Okay, so I'm going to run with this light coming through here, because that's what it was doing earlier. And there's other trees back there. This one's in the light back here. So that comes. Super fun to be outside. I'm a little bummed about the exposure, but I haven't checked the chat yet because I'm just busy attempting to paint this thing. All right, let's see how the other camera is. Not bad. So you can see once I put that, light effect in a little bit more, that gosh. That you get an understanding of what I'm looking at. The kind of interesting thing that I thought was cool was this shape on the top of the barn, which I don't have to do much to. This is actually kind of a shed. The barn is over here. But if the shadow, see how I get more blue and violet, the shadow can come this way. Hopefully you can see that by putting up paint, by getting the paint on the canvas or panel quickly and kind of in a way that is definitely just doing it without thinking about it too much. Don't be too cautious of kind of getting that initial layer of paint up there, because if you think about it too much, it'll never happen. It's exactly why I'm in the situation I'm in. Because I hit the live button and I didn't think about the exposure. But here we are. Okay, so there's a tree, there's a limb going, there's a whole trunk here, but then there's a limb coming in front. And I think that that's pretty cool, but I want to be careful how I approach it. Some of this barn here, that's part of the, I should put that in because it's going to be important to cover up so you guys can see what's actually kind of happening there. So this is barn. Okay. And then back over here, it's actually a little bit darker because you have the shadow of the barn on the top of the roof of the shed. And with the ambient light, it gets kind of lighter. So here I am with this. Okay, I need to put in that back tree line a little bit clearer. That's up there. So I was mentioning, I don't know if you just are coming on or not, or if you're hanging out, but I was mentioning that that was my initial idea. The view over there, which is the view of the Quabbin, which is gorgeous. But there's something about this scene with the shed that was particularly inviting to me, and I thought that it had a kind of quality to it that was nice. So there's a tree that comes up this way. I have to put some more burnt sienna out. I've already used it all. I constantly put new paint out all the time. There's a tree that comes up this way. And then there's a limb that comes down. And it comes down enough to where it kind of, I don't want it to be too distracting, but there's several of them. And then there's also a tree that's kind of shooting up this way, which I'll eventually get to, hopefully. So some of the dark greens are all through here. This is kind of, they kind of come this way. Oh, listen to the birds. Oh my gosh. So nice to be outside. Sorry for some of the stuff that's happening with the exposure, but it's so incredible. It's one of the nicest nights it's been. There's no bugs right now. It's just gorgeous. So there's some of this stuff back here. It's part of the tree and behind that goes back there. I don't want this to be distracting, but it's interesting. There's all these things happening through here. There's like a bunch of leaves that are being hit with. So that piece of light there connects with, see, this is the cool part. Okay, so this part of the barn connects with some of this stuff. To put out more killed yellow pale. All of this stuff is being illuminated with that. See how bright it is back there? And then, so it's still down here, this, some of this, there's some of this bright green down here. A little bit of lighter notes. So as I'm going, I'm also going to want to try to cover up the white of the canvas that's still showing through, because that'll be distracting. The blue, I want to keep this has to keep as a hue of green. So I mixed in with the sky back there, but this stuff has to stay green, some of it. So you can't lose can't get too mixed together. It has to retain its position in the whole kind of composition. There's some really dark, if I take ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, there's some really dark foliage through here too. And then that's a limb. Okay, some of these come up. It's part of that trunk. So you can see the big crash of light. We started out with a bunch of nothingness, and now we're getting there. It's starting to come together. Again, if you're also just joining, I am feeling a little bit trapped just because I don't have paper towels. It's a big part of painting, actually. It's weird, but it is. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going back to my fan brush. This stuff in front here, there's a bunch of grass, different kinds of grass that sits in front of that dark section. So there's lighter colors. My neighbor just pulled out his tractor. That was nice. That'll add to the audio. That was nice of him. He must have seen me out here. I'm just teasing. Okay, so this is here. I'm going to go back to some of the darker notes. Blue. Okay, we're just about covered. So you can see the composition, the idea, that's what it was. It was like this, some of this stuff is being lit up here, through here. Oh, he's going to pull over here. He's going to come in our view. Okay. Now there's this section that I need to darken down as the lights come over top of it. All right, let's see. Blue and burnt sienna. This has a little bit of a, I'm not attempting to do that, but it has a little bit of a Russian feel to it. Blue, brown. This is burnt sienna. Sorry, burnt umber. And then I have the burnt sienna. And it looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of sunlight. I'm gonna try to wrap it up because when the sun went behind the cloud, it got really dark. So over there, there's some more green. Dog barking, I love it. It's all part of the experience. Okay, so I want to try to get a dark translucent color, but my setup's getting a little bit muddy. Because back here there's some other trunks. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I haven't shown you guys what I was looking at earlier for a while. This is the reference. This is not what I'm looking at, but that's the only thing I could show you because I don't have another camera set up. I took that with my phone before we started, so you could have some kind of reference. I almost feel like Bob Ross out here, like I'm just having so much fun. The cool thing about when you think about form and you paint, kind of having all these guiding principles of understanding what you're looking at, not just guessing, but like carving out space and having the painting do what you want it to do. It's really nice because no matter what I throw at it, like you guys have watched me for the last few minutes and I've been going kind of crazy. But no matter what I throw at it, I should get rid of that. It blends in and becomes part of the experience. And what I mean by that is it's not like there's nothing that really is too shocking and out of context. It fits in, it works. So when you're painting and making the space, you're dictating kind of what's being, the story that's being told, the value structure, the paint that's being put down, everything is in your control, then it all works. I've been just slamming paint up here for the last half hour. Is that how long we've been going? 43 minutes. And so long as I'm looking at nature, I'm painting this from life. And so long as everything I'm doing is I'm calculating the position. Here comes my neighbor. I'm calculating the position so the value of it based off the light source, color, etc. All that stuff is all linked. So that then any stroke I put down, and I'll shut up, I've been going on about this for a bit. Anything I put down is going to make sense. It's going to fit into context. Here it comes. All right. There's some stuff back here. Gotta give him a wave as he goes by. He didn't see me. That's great. So beautiful. See if I'll time it. He'll give us a wave when he comes back into the picture. Now the sun is going. Everything is disappearing. Oh, you missed it. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So if this were a block in, which it is, we've been 45 minutes on. And now the sun is going though, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I'm not gonna be able to keep adjusting the exposures. Well, this was a lot of fun. Hopefully it was fun for you. It was super fun to be out here painting from life. So there's some rocks back here. There's some rocks here. And then I'll put in a little bit of the warmth of the tree because these are being hit with sun. And then there's a couple over here that are also. Okay. Well, all right, I'm gonna have to call it quits. So thank you all. If you're just joining, this is gonna go up on Patreon. The sun is fading, so my camera's exposure is horrible. But thank you all for joining, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Till next time.